Hey y'all, it's Nomadic Shaman here. It is Saturday, May 16th. Thank you for visiting my page. Today's video is going to be a follow-up of downloads that I continue to receive. I'm grateful. I'm always grateful with my connection to the divine. So, without further ado, let's continue, shall we? I'll say this. We'll say story time or slash story time. So, one interesting thing that I've experienced with gang stalking is they try to isolate you. And one way that they do try to isolate you is, well, first of all, let me say this before I get into that. There's this channel I came across. It's called The War Against Narcissism. I learned about a lot about narcissism behavior actually through that channel. And it's he looks like he's about, I don't know, maybe in his 30s, 40s, but he just grazed early. That runs in my family too, y'all. But anyhow, I learned a lot about narcissism from watching his channel, and I learned about a lot about narcissistic abuse. And one of the things that kind of stood out was as it relates to covert narcissists, you know, the ones who like to shapeshift and operate as Jekyll and Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, present in one way, but behind closed doors are completely the opposite of that representative, right? And so one of the things that I learned from watching his channel was he had shared one of the worst things that you can do to a covert narcissist is expose them, because it triggers them into that level or that way of thinking and or being that they have to fix and or maintain their image at all costs. At all costs. And my job as a light bringer, as a chosen one, divine one, is to expose, to bring light, to shine light to the unseen, to the hidden, to those who do not have or aren't as practiced in their level of discernment. If I see it, say something about it. You know, bring light, bring attention to it. That's one thing that I learned about narcissism, more specifically covert narcissists. My handler is a covert narcissist, at least by way of definition. I'm not a medical doctor, so I can't say that for sure. But based on the definition that he provided, I mean, it sounds pretty damn close. Anyways, one of the interesting things that they like to do as it relates to gang stalking is to isolate an individual. So people who may have very healthy support systems, they study you, they study the people around you, they study their strengths and weaknesses in an attempt to put cracks in that support system. Happened to me, you know. I've lost friends along the way in this journey. I look at it as, you know, intentional, purposeful. There's something for me to learn, something for me to gain from this experience always. But one of the things that I wanted to share was one of the ways that they do break down is they again study the person, so the target as well as their support system, to put cracks within that foundation. Okay, so therefore you creating doubt, creating insecurity within those connections, and eventually creating separation, rejection, and abandonment. And then the end result would be isolation, having the targeted individual isolated. One of the ways that they do that is, let's say if I have a friend, I'll put it like this: we were pretty close. This friend was married to one of my best friends who passed away by way of cancer. And we got pretty close because we were leaning, on each other as far as like a support system. And not only that, but I got really close with all of her children. But one of the things that I wanted to share with you is one way to put a wedge is if they can't find somebody to slide in like romantically for me, they'll find somebody to slide in romantically as a form of distraction for people that I'm close with, so that the relationship, we're not as close anymore. And so spirit had enlightened me that that's exactly what they did. That there's a woman who is connected to the crazy bitches coven, and how they basically were paying her. Spirit told me they were paying her up at least up until, so from 2024 up until December of 2025, she was getting paid. She was getting paid to be to deliver intel, to basically get inside, okay, by way of my friend as a romantic interest. And Spirit had informed me that not only was she, I just heard informant to give intel, right? But not only was she getting inside, in the relationship, as a result, me and him and I, we don't talk. we don't talk anymore. It's unfortunate because I was really close with his son. But, in this stage in the game, it is what it is. So Spirit informed me that this is one way that they do it. It's called a honey trap. So they bring in a romantic interest. And the romantic interest is kind of like an informant, spy. They come on the scene to gain information about you, to provide intel to whomever is paying them. This is also considered to be RICO. But anyhow, she was a romantic interest. Spirit had also informed me that she was also an escort. She was an escort. She also did spell work. She did spell work on him, or had spell work done on him, sweetening spells, glamour magic, illusion magic, confusion magic, separation spells, rejection spells, abandonment spells, as it relates to our connection. The last three: abandonment, rejection, and separation spells, which is why, we're not close anymore. And, you know, I'm not able to see his child, who was my really good friend's child who passed away. So I'm not able to see him. But anyhow, so that's what happened. Spirit also informed me she was connected to having a camera put in the house, also removing the camera when I warned him about it, or gave him the news. She was paid. Okay. Um, I heard part of a coven, I heard witch, and I heard occultist. And the interesting thing, I remember a conversation that we had, and my friend was just like, I don't know why, but she seems to know every single time we text. She seems to know every single time, like, we text or, we call each other, or text. And eventually that dwindled down to us just not even speaking anymore, right? But the reason why she was aware of every single time we communicated is one, um, his phone was hacked, my phone was hacked, and then the individual who was hacking my phone was also the individual who was paying her. So that's how she was always in the loop. So that's, one of the ways of how they create, I guess, the illusion or separation as it relates to support systems, friends, family, romantic interest. The last thing that I don't think I ever told him this, but if he comes across my channel, he'll know, is that the escort, the woman romantic interest in your life, she puts spell work on a piece of jewelry that you wear to keep you in line. Okay. So, anyhow, um, I'm going to wrap my video here. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.